Did I ever regret quitting music? No, man, because see, when it comes to the pimping, things have to be sacrificed, man. But getting back to this game that I never left. What am I currently reading? Right now, I'm actually reading, you guys probably, because I'm a fanatic and I actually got books about the Temptations getting ready to come in. I'm back on my music, but I'm back reading about Marvin Gaye. And a lot of y'all need to go check out Raekwon got a song called Marvin. It was so beautiful. Like when I got my Dre beats on, I could actually like visualize Marvin's life. Like Raekwon did an excellent job in a song called Marvin. For you that's hip hop, that love hip hop after this, you know, take some time, man, and put on that Raekwon and put on them beats, man, and listen to this song called Marvin. And anybody that know anything about the life of Marvin Gaye, he like, man, especially it's like he read David Ritt's book, you know, from the beginning to the end and just rapped about it, man. And it's like he did that shit. He went back to the Harvey Fuqua days with the Minglos. He did that. Yeah, great song. CeeLo singing. How could I forget CeeLo? CeeLo got that soulful sound and he doing the hook, and it's just beautiful, man. Very soulful. This is stupid. Sin could be the lead singer for the Temptations. Hell no. Get your... I've got sunshine. Hold on. Talking about when it's hoes outside. This is stupid. This is stupid as a mother. So, I guess you say what can make that hoe come my way. Get your ass up out of here. Hell no. That said the lead singer of the Temptations. You better copyright that name, bro. I'm telling you, gonna watch this video and be like, hey, I got a name. The Temptations. Hell no. You got me dying inside. David Ruffin is one of my favorite singers of all times, man. David didn't get what he was supposed to get, man. David was a motherfucker, man. People really didn't know how great David Ruffin was. Oh, man, don't even know how cold I am, bro. You know, on the keys, writing and everything. That's why I say, man, me and Freeze, we be bullshitting. Like, if me and Freeze was to do the music shit, as far as especially with the game, nigga, like, I don't want to come off because that's going to be too arrogant. But, man, I'm just going to put out niggas ain't f***ing with me, man. Definitely ain't f***ing with bro lyrically. But just on some talent type shit, like, no, they're not fucking with me. Bro, David Ruffin, me and my mother used to argue about that all the time, about who was a better vocalist between David Ruffin and Teddy Pendergrass. And my mama, because she was like, you know, back in her days, because that's a different story. I'll tell y'all about that later, because anybody that really know, you know, about my life, you pretty much know why it is the way it is, how I evolved into Sinful to P. But anyway, she was just so into Teddy Pendergrass. And I said, Mama, I love Teddy. Teddy got some cold runs and riffs. Teddy is a bad motherfucker. I fuss with Teddy. But Teddy vocally cannot do the things that David can do. You might say that he got a better tone of voice. You might like his deep voice. You might like the way he talked on the song. You know what I'm saying? And even though he don't sound like Luther, you know what I mean? Teddy he in the same field as a Luther or a Donny Hathaway. But at the same particular time, I said when it come to vocals, David could do things with his voice that Teddy just couldn't do. You know, David could sit up there, man, and hit notes, you know what I mean, the first soprano is going to hit on you. David was a bad motherfucker, man. And see, always remember, not just with the Temptations, but with everybody, when y'all seen that movie, you was looking at a movie that was told from Otis' perspective. Everybody was pretty much dead. You know what I mean? So, of course, it made David to be this shiesty ass arrogant, egotistical, and David was arrogant. He was egotistical, but hey, baby, when you got a voice like that and style and, you know, the magnetism that David had, of course you're going to feel like that. And of course, I don't want to get too involved because I'm end up getting to a world that most of y'all can't relate to. But for those of you that do music that's ever been in a group before, I mean, you like everybody else, you respect everybody else's talent, man, but you just know when you the shit. And, you know, I ain't going to shit on different people, but it's just like this one group that I was in. They knew that I was the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I had it together, baby. You know what I mean? I never was in drugs. You know what I'm saying? I always been that. And at that time, when I was singing, you know, Skin and Bones, young Sinful P, you know, 181 pounds and shit, damn near 6'2", you know, hey man, check it out, baby. I didn't have time to sit up there and do anything else but sing. Singing was my life. So you wasn't going to beat me at that. And by me not drinking and smoking, man, I could just switch I could do anything, man, from David to Trey to R. Kelly to Tyrese to Dave Hollister, you know what I mean? And then jump on keys. Like, I was a bad motherfucker, man. Bro, Dre, let me tell you, the group really should have been. See, they try to make it like David was this arrogant devil, but if you look around, Smokey was the leader of the group. Smokey Robinson, he had his own shit. It was Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross and, so, you know, David was good enough where it could have actually been David Ruffin and the Temptations. I didn't really see nothing wrong with that. A lot of diehard Temptations fans, they gonna fight against me, but I really didn't see nothing wrong with that, man. Plus, he was different, man. That's my part in the film. You see how all them other niggas, them square-ass niggas, man, I love all the rest of the members of Temptations, but you see how everybody else had a Cadillac, and then David came up with the Rolls and shit, real pimpish? Yeah, that's because David was raised, you understand me, by the pimping. But that's another story. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that Dave Hollister, bro, he was with Tupac tough. They was real tough with each other. You know, of course, Tupac liked KC really over anybody, KC and JoJo, because they sung with such passion and emotionalism, you know, about them coming out the Church of God in Christ. But at the same time, you know, Dave Hollister was a fool too. Right. Hey, man, you about to make me get started. I can't do too much, man, because a lot of things I be wanting to talk about, but I still got to keep in mind that my audience, a lot of people, man, are young, so they don't know nothing about Tammi Terrell. They don't know that Tammi Terrell, you know what I'm saying, was messing around with James Brown. They don't know that, you know what I mean, Tammi was this young, beautiful, fly-ass girl, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, she had Tammi was very flirtatious. You know, and David ain't like that shit because, you know, back in the day, you know, men, man, you know, they control women. You know, they govern their women. You know, it didn't have to be no pimp. Just man shit. You know, she gonna do what the fuck I tell her to do. You know, and when a nigga basically, you know what I'm saying, like that, and I'm not telling you put your hands on a broad or and all that type of shit, but you run your household. Yeah, David had a lot of style, bro. I could go on. We're not going to turn this into a David because I'll around and turn this into a David Ruffin video, man. Y'all just don't know how much I love David Ruffin and especially Marvin Gaye. I could talk about David and Marvin, man, for forever. I could talk about Motown for forever. I love studying them. Yeah, I ain't going to go into that because, you know, like I said, I don't like to speak bad on the dead. You know, James ain't no longer with us, but, you know, those who read the information and spoke to people who was around, you already know certain things were said. Now, what I will say is that they need to do a film on Tammi Terrell. Man, I got so many beautiful ideas. I'm just broke, man. I ain't got the money, man. But if I had it my way, I'd have been gave you guys, like somebody really need to make it. My first film would be about Stanley Tookie Williams. That would be my first film. And I would get together with Craig Munson and different OGs and really put a lot into, and see what people fail to realize. I hate when people say, man, well, how they gonna put that in a 2-hour film? Who the f told you that it had to be 2 hours? When it's motherfuckers that, you know, the people are infatuated with that love. My battery going low, so if it closed out, y'all know what it is, but I'm just gonna talk and let this motherfucker run. But when it's somebody like Stanley Tookie Williams, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers is gonna watch, baby. So this shit could be 4 hours. You know what I mean? When y'all sit up there and made up that fake movie for Moses, you know, that shit, and had the Easter and all that shit going on, and when y'all make, you know, movies about European Jesus and shit like that, you know what I mean? That shit be 4 or 5 hours long. Do people watch it? Hell the fuck yeah. So I don't get that about why 2 hours. Man, listen, Tupac's movie should have been 4 hours long. It should have been 2 hours before Death Row, 2 hours after Death Row. And my Tookie film would probably be like 2 hours and a half when he was on the streets. And then after that, it'd be like an hour and a half when he was in prison. That's just how my shit would be. Because if you read that Redemption, you know what I mean? The Redemption was way better. It was way better than Fox shit. But I understand the plot. Game recognized Game. You know, they put out that shit with Jamie Foxx to paint a picture of Tookie in a better light. People say, oh, the film was bullshit. It was supposed to paint a different light of Tookie because they was trying to endeavor to get Tookie out. So, you know, no, it wouldn't be about gang banging, you idiot. You just see how you just called everybody else typical, but see how you gave the typical reaction to what was said. You know, like, first of all, number one, everybody loves a redemption story. So, of course, I would do it about Tookie Williams. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that can relate to that, from coming from nothing and being in the urban society, coming from the ghetto and gang banging and things like that. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, when you coming from the hood, you know, and you outside and you gang banging, you don't know how beautiful your mind is. Why? Because you ain't even reading and you ain't trying to read. You know, you out here gang banging, you doing your thing. So Tookie didn't find out how beautiful his mind was until he got, you know, incarcerated. And I want to show that, you know what I mean? So, of course, young people going to watch that. You're talking about people so typical. No, little person, your mind is so typical. Your reaction to what was said was typical. I guess I answer this before I go. She said R. Kelly or Aaron Hall. That's not really a good comparison because if it had not been for Aaron Hall, it wouldn't be no R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? So R. Kelly vocally ended up being greater, and R. Kelly has more talent than Aaron Hall, but I don't want to minimize the legacy of Aaron Hall because if it had not been for Aaron Hall, it wouldn't even been no R. Kelly. Yeah, well, look, I'm going to end up probably doing another live probably later on today, hopefully, but I'm going to end up ending this because my battery getting low, plus I do need to hop on the phone, I need to take care of some things. Who's my favorite basketball team? Come on, man. Chicago Bulls. You already know what it is, man. That 72-10, man. Come on, man. You know, I mean, that 72-10 team would have beat the shit out of them Golden State Warriors, man, any time of the day. But it is what it is, man. I hope you guys live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. You already know, man. Stony Island. You already know we in the building. One. I hope you guys live as long as you want and never want as long as you live, man. Y'all be blessed now.